The activists working at outlets like Kotaku, Polygon, and The Gamer only have themselves to blame for their complete and utter irrelevancy. People do not trust them anymore because they never align themselves with gamers. They never defend us. They never actually are on our sides. They're always defending companies, hoping that they can live to see another day and keep their access. And now they are coming out and basically attacking gamers for calling out Ready or Not for censoring their game, saying it's really not that big of a deal. And even though
I mean, can you hate gaming journalists enough? Can you hate them enough, folks? I don't think you can. I think they're fucking terrible.
people are pissed off in review
On fucking Twitter, I fucking argue with these guys a lot because I'm a fucking no life, and I don't mind arguing. And I gotta tell you, they have some of the fucking craziest, stupidest views I've ever fucking even heard from. These fucking guys, it's like they're so disconnected from the actual base that they swear that they're fucking representing.
bombing it, it's
Crazy.
still selling well. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, obviously, people are very upset when games are censored, especially in a case like this where you might have owned the game for years and now the version of your title is going.
That's the part we didn't touch on in the last video. That's what's fucking crazy, right? All these guys that supported this game from day one, which I looked up a bunch of stuff, they had a lot of fucking problems, man. A lot of problems at their launch, and I think it was in early access. But they ended up having, not at the launch, but during the early access, and then they made a great launch, right? But all these guys that supported them all this time, dude, and then you change the game that they supported this whole time. It's just such a wild move, man.
Going to be altered, and there's really nothing that you can do about it. You can't fight back, you can't say no, you can't get a refund and rip that money away from them. Unfortunately, you are just stuck with this censored game in your game's library. Now, if you are not in support of the decision that they've made, obviously you don't have to buy it now that it's releasing on console. But if you already purchased it on Steam, unfortunately, there's not a lot that you can do except for leave a negative review and except for going on social media and voicing how unhappy you are. But apparently, according to games journalists, this isn't really that big of a deal. And they're using censored in quotes as if it's not censored when it actually is. We have Polygon saying, despite review bombing, censored shooter becomes top seller on Steam. You have The Gamer saying controversial first-person shooter Ready or Not drops to mixed reviews as community slams devs for censorship.
I cannot believe Polygon still has a business. I can't believe it. It fucking baffles the mind, dude. It baffles the mind.
You've got Game Rant saying Ready or Not making content changes for console release. This infuriates me so much because they don't even want to use the proper word. They don't actually want to sit here and tell the fucking truth. Now, obviously, the only reason why
I gotta say, Vera, that was a well-placed fucking right there. That was top notch.
Kotaku's, Polygons, and The Gamers are still around is because of the access that they get. Because companies will still give them codes early, give them that PR material early. And if you go to a site like Kotaku, they're pumping out like 20 articles a day, which I honestly think that more than half of those are AI. But regardless, they are still trying to get clicks, and part of the only reason why they're alive still is because of the access, but another part is simply because of rage bait, right? They are sitting here, they're trying to get people angry, and with that comes the least amount of trust we've ever seen between gamers and games journalists, even back when Gamergate 1 had happened and it was truly about ethics in games journalism, and they don't want to tell you that. I still feel a certain level of hope there because people thought, oh, maybe they're going to actually listen to us and change their ways and figure out how to gain our, trust back and get us to read their articles again. But now it's just completely masked off. And
again, I really hate the censors. While the differences aren't significant in Ready or Not, developers said they decided to outline the public for transparency. It's back to that one issue, man. One, it's like, if it wasn't fucking important, then why change it? And then two, it does make a difference. There is a difference. I mean, again, Cyberpunk 2077. That opening scene, that opening mission, when you're pulling the lady out of the fucking bathtub. It's drastically a different atmosphere, vibe, tone, everything if she's just wearing clothes. No goon or veil. I mean, I don't know how you could look at that scene and feel gooned. Feel like you're gooning, right? It has nothing to do with it. It's just such a different, the scene of despair. It's just wild. I really hate that they're playing it down.
Admitting that they hate gamers, and there's no way that they can come back from this. But if you don't already know, I have put up a couple videos on it. Ready or Not has sparked censorship outrage as Void Interactive retro.
We got a YouTube ad.
The fitness industry doesn't want women over 40 to know this.
Ew.
Have you seen this guy? You know, the one that keeps telling.
Proactively censors.
I know y'all saw the middle of that chest.
The game for all players, including PC gamers who bought the title years ago. I'm honestly so disappointed at this. Now, it's not particularly shocking given when the early access period was going on, they actually had censored the game because Kotaku had whined about a box of red pills. Oh no. And now they're just coming out and straight up admitting it's not that big of a deal, guys. It's just a little bit of censorship. A little bit of censorship never hurt anyone. So Polygon is saying, despite review bombing, the censored shooter becomes a Steam top seller. Yeah, first of all, the developers were not very loud and vocal about the censorship. They ended up having to release a second post because there was so much backlash, but even that they didn't plaster on their social media. It seems like they wanted, of course, to...
Oh, yeah. As soon as that fucking community discussion went crazy for the censor, it was complete damage control. They realize they keep trying to play it down, and the fan base is not having it. I mean, from what I understand, they have now silenced the discussion tab and the community tab, so you cannot comment on it because of so many influx of comments and so many displeased people. So, yeah, for sure, they're definitely not gonna post it on their fucking X, dude. Hey, we're gonna change the game you love. Please don't freak out.
Fly under the radar, and at the end of the day, it is a game that does look pretty good. If I didn't know anything about the censorship or the censorship didn't happen, I would be very interested in this title. But unfortunately, it is censored, and it is a game I'm personally not going to support. So Ready or Not is a tactical shooter that...
Alright, I get it, but also, I'm one of them people, dude, I don't like octopus. But I tried eating octopus, if that makes any sense. It's I looked at the game, it's kind of in my jazz. I love niche games like that. I'm not exactly a tactical shooter fan. But, the ideas, the tones, and the ideas that they had previous... I mean, I'm curious to see for myself if it's good or not, before I can just completely damn it for the censorship, even though I really am against it. So I guess I'm a walking hypocrite,
It's been out on PC for a couple of years now, and the developer Void Interactive is currently gearing up for a July 15th release on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. And I'm not trying to sit here and shame anybody who wants to buy this game. I never say to
Thank you, Vera.
Boycott anything.
I fucking needed that because I felt like she's starting to make me feel pretty bad about it.
Because ultimately you're adults, you can make your own decisions. If you think that this looks great, I hope that you thoroughly enjoy it. Just be aware that you are supporting developers who don't actually respect you. What they are...
Fuck, I feel bad again.
Are doing is they are censoring something and saying that you shouldn't be seeing this content, and they are bending the knee to platform holders. I know that they censored this because of either Sony or Microsoft, but they could have stood up for themselves and said, you have Call of Duty uncensored on your platforms. You have Mortal Kombat uncensored on your platforms. You have Sniper Elite games uncensored on your platforms. You have Hitman's uncensored on your platforms. You have all of these games that
did not bring up Cyberpunk, which I think is crazy.
That do feature gore and violence, and I'm not going to censor my game unless you censor those games. They could have stood on their own and said, nope, we're just going for the PC release now, but also...
She's missing the biggest one, dude. She's missing the biggest example of a mainstream AAA game that's uncensored and on console and PC alike.
Ultimately, yeah, companies want to make as much money as possible.
On the fucking Switch, dude. They put it on the Switch too. I mean, it surely is melting the Switch too, but it's on the fucking Switch too. There's no way that it's censored.
Oh, I mean, there's really no excuse here. They just bent the knee to the platform holders instead of saying, you know what, we respect our audience. And they could have, if they wanted to,
a little fucking box with a check mark for gore, or a little box or a check mark for nudity, dude. That's how you solve this.
Made another version of the game. If they truly respected the PC players that they had, they would have kept the game in its original state because Steam wasn't demanding they censor it. And then the PC release would have stood on its own, censorship free, and then the console versions would have been censored. Not that I support the censorship at all, but at least they wouldn't be altering the content that people have owned for years and years and years. But they didn't do that either because they're saying, oh, it's not cost effective and time efficient. Yeah, that's not a good look.
Totally a fair criticism. I totally agree. They definitely should have put more work into this. I mean, to chalk it like, hey, this would cost more work. I mean, it's insane. A lot of people spend a lot of money on this game. Yeah, that's crazy.
As Void Interactive tells it, the adjustments are at least partially motivated to modernize the tech powering the game. Initially Ready or Not used Unreal Engine 4, which required custom approaches for its animation. Unreal 5, they say in a blog post, has better built-in features that can accomplish similar outcomes. Okay, sure. Some of these subtle adjustments, of course, they don't want to say alterations and censorship, would likely go unnoticed were they not pointed out by the developers.
Oh, that grinds my fucking gears, guys. It does. They're fucking playing it down again. Own it. Own it for what it is. It's easier to respect people for that.
In other cases, the changes arguably affect the tone of the game. Yeah, they're sitting here saying, oh, you guys wouldn't have even noticed. First of all, gamers would have noticed. And second of all, why the heck are you sitting here defending a company silently altering your product? That's not a good look at the end of the day. There are depictions of dismemberment, and while that will still be true on consoles, there's a limit to how far the game will now depict gore rather than continuing to show ongoing carnage. Once a body is dead, it will stop showing animations of further deterioration. The amount of gore hasn't been toned down per se, as the bodies will still reflect whatever violence rendered them dead. The game just won't reflect anything beyond that initial gore.
That's fucking bullshit. I don't care what they say. That's bullshit. That's fucking... In Fallout, when a guy dies, you can blow his face off right after. That's bullshit. Just call it what it is. It's bullshit, and they shouldn't fucking do that. Not for console, not for PC. They shouldn't change that. Because you know what? That shit's funny. That shit is fun, and that shit is funny. And you're making your game worse for no fucking reason.
And similarly, art showcasing torture has been toned down a bit, and a couple instances of nudity will also be covered up. This is a game that is rated for adults, that is made for adults, that only adults should be playing, and ultimately there is significantly worse content in other games. I don't want to make it a competition of which game is more gory or horrific, but Mortal Kombat shows way more in terms of dismemberment and gore and violence, and that's why ultimately I don't think a game like this should be censored.
It's for grown-ups. I mean, what are we fucking talking about, dude? It's for grown-ups. For grown-ups. Grown-ups know what tits are. Okay? Like, why are you telling grown-ups what they can watch? I mean, obviously, don't go to fucking extremes here, but why, gore in a video game that we've had since forever? Since games have been good enough to do it? Why are you telling adults what they can and can't watch, or what they should and shouldn't watch? To me, that's just such a fucking ridiculous premise. I just can't believe these people,
that there are going to be people who say it's not that big of a deal, and if you don't think it's
that fucking refund button's looking kind of good the more I read about this.
That big of a deal, you go ahead and purchase it, but it is that big of a deal to a lot of other people. You, of course, have the gamer saying controversial first-person shooter Ready or Not drops to mixed reviews as community slams devs for censorship. They say that the tweaks are fairly minor, lessening violence towards children, allowing dismemberment only for living targets, and removing nudity, but it's been enough to ruffle the community's feathers.
PC fucking games.
reported by PC Games N, the game has dropped to a mixed score on Steam.
It is mostly negative now. I just checked. It is mostly negative, folks. The community is so fucking mad.
With fans highlighting the supposed censorship, demanding that changes be reversed. It is censorship. They are altering the product to appeal and appease a ratings board, to appease a company, even to appease people, given they censored the game for Kotaku. None of those are okay. But ultimately, that is the definition of censorship. They just don't want to use the word.
It is wild. They're just dancing around it. She has such a good point here. And it ruins the fucking... It takes away any leg that they try to stand on when they dance around the truth. You know what I mean? Because only people that fucking dance around the truth is because they're trying to spin a lie. You know? You gotta fucking face it up front. Or don't face it at all, dude. That's it.
They want to make it seem like, oh, guys, it's not that big of a deal. Ready or Not, making content changes for console release because, of course, they don't want to say it either. While the differences aren't significant, the developer says it decided to outline them publicly for transparency purposes. Yeah, because if they hadn't highlighted it, they would have gotten absolutely wrecked. I mean, there would have been significantly more backlash. And keep in mind, there are already...
Also, they keep repeating, this is like multiple people now. Including the developer himself, this is like their mantra. That's like their mantra right now. That's what they're just repeating. It's wild.
A lot of people who are really infuriated with this. So right now, the Access Media is defending Ready or Not tooth and nail instead of sticking up for gamers and defending games. They are sitting here saying it's not that big of a deal. It's not even censorship. It's a few minor alterations and the differences aren't significant. And this is why people view these individuals as jokes. This is why we do not put our faith into games journalists. And this is why we do not trust them, because they sit here and say trash like this. They're corpo bootlickers. And at the end of the day, nobody is going to take you guys seriously when you put out articles like this. So I'll be keeping my eye on Ready or Not and, of course, the Access Media to see if they say anything else. But for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like. And if you didn't, give it a...
Same. Do a little share here. Copy. Yeah, I don't know, guys. What do you guys think about that? Definitely, I think I agree with everything here. She did make me feel kind of bad at the end, at the part of there, though. I was like, oh man, I feel like I shouldn't support these guys. You go watch that video. Give it a like, dude, because it's insanely cool. I love what she's doing here, that she's talking about it, and I completely agree, man. I think it's absolutely insane. I think it's absolutely. Oh my god, it's so blue, dude. What is up with my light right now? There's my pretty face. Right. But yeah, I completely agree. Absolutely. It's insane.